Welcome. We're David and Hillary, and this is our movie POSTview of the movie Paddington in Peru. If you're looking for a review to see if you want to see this movie or not, you might be in the wrong place.
Stop. We have spoilers.
We have spoilers.
We're going to tell bear secrets.
On our channel, the David and Hillary Show on YouTube, you can look up Paddington in Peru preview, and there we'll tell you about the movie information that will help you decide if you want to see it or not without spoilers. But we're about to have spoilers. If you're here on purpose, welcome. We're glad you're here, and we're about to talk about it.
That's right. Thanks for being here.
Yeah. So, full disclosure, we did not see the first two Paddington movies in this series. Our kids are old enough that we weren't really doing that. But now that we're reviewing movies, we wanted to review some family ones too. And it was a cute movie.
I liked it. I made you go. It's like, oh, we're going to go see Paddington. It's going to be so fun.
Yeah, we talked about that in the preview, but it was for what it was. It was cute.
Yeah, our movie pass thinks we saw it like 3 times because we had to keep like canceling and rescheduling, and one of the grandbabies needed to get babysat, and we're like, yeah, we'll just move our movies. So yeah, AMC thinks we love Paddington. We're a three-peat on that one.
we weren't able to go to the movies a third time that week because we
forgot.
We secured tickets for a date that we then ended up having to cancel, except we forgot to cancel on the app. That's right.
Yeah, no blaming, but it was me.
So
anyway.
It counted against us even though we didn't go that time. And we don't go 3 times every week, but that was kind of a funny thing. It all worked out.
Yeah.
But so one of the things we talked the most about in the preview was, even though we liked the movie, there was a little bit of anti-Christian content. So Hillary, do you want to dive into that?
Yeah. So I try not to be too sensitive about it, but I think from the first moment when I saw the nun writing the letter in that scene came on, I thought, oh, don't be a bad nun. Don't be a bad nun. And
there was something off about it.
So yeah, you're like, I'm a little suspicious of you. And so turns out the nun wasn't actually a nun. So she wasn't a bad nun. She just wasn't a nun.
She was a bad pretend nun.
A bad pretend nun. And actually partway through, you feel unsettled about her, and you go through the movie, and then you get to know her, and you're like, oh, maybe she is trying to help them. And you're like, no, she is not trying to help them. And then you find out she's not a nun.
No.
So that was, expected. I expected them to maybe make fun of it a little bit, but yeah, that was definitely a focus.
Well, at one point they even focused on the Christian Crusades,
right?
Which, it's true. There was a point in history when there were some people who went out and went to war and used God as an excuse to do that. And I don't think God was really behind it. So that's not cool. And so, why do you bring that up in a kid's movie? I don't know, but.
Right. And then there was they used a song that you and I both love, Onward Christian Soldiers, but they kept using it in a negative way again to make fun of that. And so, yeah.
Seemed a little passive aggressive. Kind of felt like the movie makers had a beef with Christianity.
Right. I tried to keep overlooking it, but I thought, wow, you really keep wanting to hammer this. So
yeah,
we're going to talk about it.
And we don't want to be oversensitive because, as I mentioned in the preview, how are you going to, whatever you believe or don't believe, if you have strong feelings about certain things, how do you go through life? And everyone, everywhere, every news report, everything that you hear perfectly lines up with everything that you believe. No, that's not a thing. So I don't think being hypersensitive about it that's why we said we still like the movie. Overall, It was a really small part, and it was a cute, fun family movie. But we kind of felt obligated to mention it.
Well, and also, like you said, with the Crusades, if things have been done this week, last week, 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, and they weren't right, tell the truth. We talk about that all the time.
That's true.
You don't, like we said there, how many characters in the Bible did bad things?
All of them.
And God just tells the truth about
Pretty much.
So it's okay to just tell the truth, but maybe not in a way that just seemed like making fun of the whole idea.
Seemed like they had a beef.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
moving on. We can move on. I love the scenery. We like to travel. We like beautiful places. We love nature. And so the scenery from Peru was really cool. It made me want to go there. We got to figure out how to
Nice.
get a vacation to Peru.
We should have done our podcast from there.
Oh, we should
Could have
have.
written the whole thing off.
That would have been so easy.
I'll need
on
to do
the
my review in
spur of the
Peru.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But it was beautiful.
it was. That was a cool, almost like a character in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I loved the family values as the mom here. And of course, the mom in this movie is dealing with some empty nesting going on. And I'm like, oh, we should have brought tissues for this review because we have a new rule now. Any movie that you needed tissues for, you have to have tissues for the review, but I'll try not to cry.
Did you need tissues for Paddington?
I did a little bit because the mom is trying to deal with her daughter's growing up, her son is growing up. Now Paddington wants to possibly go to Peru. Like she feels everybody leaving, and there's one part where they're all on the couch together, and she's remembering all those moments on the couch.
Yeah.
And she just wants everybody to be back on the family couch again together.
Yeah.
I was like, me too. I love it. But, obviously everybody has to grow up. Everybody has to move on. And you want everybody to do well. But in this movie, they do.
Yeah.
And it is a sweet family movie where mom is just kind of, oh, see, I might need the tissues now. Mom's.
Do I need to grab you some tissues? I've never left the set during a
Just
filming
get 'em.
before. Just get them.
Just get them.
I'll be right back.
Okay. It's just so sweet. And so everybody, I've just got them just in case. So mom gets her wish that they all become a team and they enjoy being together. And it's because they all go to Peru together. The son gets out of his room and gets around people, and he puts his inventor skills to practical use. Mm-hmm. The daughter writes about the family adventure, which helps her get into college.
Yeah.
And Paddington finds his aunt, but he decides he wants to come back and stay with them.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to stay in Peru. She thinks she's lost Paddington too. So, everybody has something to face, and mom has to face the fact that everybody is growing up, but that doesn't mean they're not still a family.
Right.
Okay, I'll be fine. They're still a family.
Yeah. No, I love that everybody kind of confronted a weakness or completed a task while on this trip. It was cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I thought Paddington found his aunt, but he also kind of found himself,
Yes.
That was neat. It was cool that he discovered where he was from in a much bigger way than he thought he was going to when he started the trip, and that he connected with family and friends from there. It was kind of a fun twist. The legend of El Dorado is supposed to be a city of gold, and they alluded to that, and then they find out it's just a city of oranges.
Liquid gold right there. Those beautiful oranges.
Hey, there's money in oranges, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
that was funny. But it was also, a cute way for Paddington to feel useful. He taught the El Dorado citizens how to process their natural resource and use it in more creative ways.
And wasn't that kind of like foreshadowed throughout the movie with his marmalade sandwiches that he always had under his hat? Because that was orange marmalade, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was so cute. You find out that, that's been a part of the story the whole time. I thought that was really cute.
It was. And then he had a couple of quotes there when he was trying to decide if he was going to stay or if he was going to go back with his adopted family. And he said, "This is where I'm from, but you are where I belong." Oh, yeah.
Paddington. It's so sweet.
He also said about the community in El Dorado, he said, "This is my tribe, but you are my family." To the human family. Again, we mentioned in the preview, if you hadn't seen other Paddington movies, it's a little bit like Stuart Little, where the animals and the humans are living together, speaking English to each other. It's, it's kind of crazy.
Normal.
But it was kind of, after an hour and 43 minutes, it is normal.
That's right.
But I thought, I don't know how people who have been through the adoption process feel about that, but it was kind of a reference to that and kind of cool. I thought, that if you have a family that loves you and has brought you in and accepted you as their own, then at some point you realize I do have other roots, but the family that's raised me and been there for me, they're my family.
That's my family.
So I don't know. I'm not trying to make too many grand statements about everybody can have their own opinions about their own life, but I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was. One of the other families is the captain of the boat. They need a boat to go on their adventure. And so Mr. Hunter is the captain of this boat, Antonio Banderas.
Yep.
And his daughter, Gina, they run this boat, like a sightseeing yacht. Not yacht. Yeah, it's a boat.
Yeah. An Amazon jungle boat.
Right. And that's fun. Again, you kind of think right away, like, oh, good guy, bad guy, what are you?
Right.
And then you realize that he comes from a long line of gold hunters. Their family has been searching for El Dorado for generations, and it's almost it's a family curse, really, that they just cannot.
They don't see it that way, but that's what it is.
Right. They cannot not search for this gold. And the daughter, Gina, realizes that this is a really bad idea. It's just tearing people apart. And she begs her dad not to choose the gold. Don't go after the gold. And he can't do that. He has to go and chase after the gold. But what I do love is in the end, he chooses his family.
Yep.
He chooses his daughter, and Gina got her wish to have a more present father.
Yep.
And he deals with really what I would say is a generational curse of always choosing the world and money and finance over being present with his family.
Yeah.
And it's really sweet. It's really good.
Yeah.
So I like
a lot
that.
of cool family values.
Yeah.
In the movie.
Yeah. And I was going to say the one part with him, we talked about in the preview how there wasn't a lot of like crass junior high humor.
Right.
And there's always that one stunt where, someone is going to get kicked or the guy doubles over and you're like, oh, there it is. There's the obligatory,
Yeah, we
scene.
were watching something completely different on TV last night, and they did the thing where someone steps up to the mic to talk, and there's feedback.
Yeah, every
it's like,
time.
That happens 800 million times more in the movies and TV shows than it does in real life. It's like, oh my gosh, when are you guys gonna quit? It's
Come
just
on.
so overused. But
People do sound checks.
same with the crotch shot.
Yeah. But when I was watching it, you saw the binder fly through the air and you're like, oh, here it comes. And then I looked, I was like, they just hit him in the stomach or just below the stomach.
It was a
like,
little high to be
Yeah.
the crotch and a little low to be the stomach, but it was,
I
felt like it
appreciated
was
that.
intentionally
Yeah.
not quite the cliche.
Yeah. I was like, okay, there's a step up.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Well, as they were wrapping everything up, it was kind of cool that the nun the nun who wasn't a nun got her just reward. It was kind of weird though, that part of her punishment was that they made her be a nun.
You have to go be a nun.
It was in a place nobody wants to be, but
Right.
it was like your punishment is you have to be a holy person that serves God.
Right. I don't think that's how that works.
No.
No.
That's weird.
No.
Again, probably not Christians making the movie.
Right.
But
right.
Not trying to make a big point of that, but it was kind of funny.
Well, but they made a big point of it.
Yeah, they did.
So it's in the movie. It's in the review.
Yeah.
But
Other than that, the part with the family, the ending was maybe a little too perfect if you're really into artistic movies. But again,
if you're a mom, it was great.
well, if you're only trying to watch super artistic, high, like the best of the best movies, why are you watching Paddington?
That's right.
I mean, no offense to Paddington, but it was what it was. It was a fun kid-oriented family movie. In that regard, the ending was pretty perfect. But if you're gonna ever have a movie that is a happy, perfect ending, that's the type of movie that should have it. So
Yep, this was
it
the
didn't
one.
bother me.
It was
So,
fun.
it
It was a
was.
fun movie. Good time.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was. Well, Paddington and Peru, we enjoyed it. And if this is the first one of our movie reviews that you're watching, glad you joined us. We do a preview of every movie that we see, which is without spoilers and gives you good information to see if it's for you or not. And the post view, we do what we did here. We just talk about all the stuff that stood out to us in the movie, and we have a good time. Thanks for joining us. We hope you'll watch more of our content. But for now, we're David and Hillary.
The movie was Paddington in Peru,
And that's our post view.